You may not be too shocked when a little kid throws a tantrum in public, but is it understandable for adults to throw them? Today on rLounge, we learn that there is, in fact, no age limit, and adults are known to kick and scream. Up first, how to cut off a lifeline. Am I the a-hole for not paying for not giving up to my brother's tantrums? Posted in my side account because I know for a fact sister-in-law reads stuffs on this sub. I, female 29, recently bought a house and a brand new car. I will admit I probably splurge on my house more than I should, but growing up very poor, it has been always a dream of mine to live in a nice house. I worked really hard to be where I am. So much so, I undergo countless breakups because I always choose career over boys. My brother, male 25, is currently jobless. He worked as a tourist guide before and can barely make ends meet. He has 5 kids now, and counting as his wife announced pregnancy recently. He messaged me on Facebook that there is something he wants to talk about, and I thought he wanted to name me godmother to his incoming baby. I said sure and invited him to the house to get his approval about some things I modified for our parents. I gave him a tour and he admired my house greatly, saying things like how excited he is to bring the kids to my house. I did not mind anything about it, as I thought he meant to visit, which I'm more than happy to host for them. Imagine my surprise when he finally sat me down and finally revealed what he wants to talk about. He wants me to give him my house. I clarified whether he meant this house or the other house I bought for my parents, which I still lived in. Still has modifications ongoing with my dream house. He said the house is big enough for his family and I can go visit them anytime I like. He even offered that if I really wanted to live there, I can go move into the maid's room and modify it for my personal use. I was shocked. I cannot speak as he thanked me over and over for the house. I finally asked him where the heck did that idea come from and said our mother told him I will give him my house. I of course corrected that, and this is where things have gone south. My brother repeatedly said since our mom said the house is his now, I cannot do anything but give in. I called my mother to tell him to duck off, and lo and behold, my mother sided with my brother. To make this already long story short, my whole family had cut me off and parents disowned me until I give my brother my house. My father has been brought to the hospital over this fight, and now I feel really bad. The guy I'm seeing now said to just give the house to my brother and he'll help me buy another. Reddit, am I the a-hole here? Edit, to clarify, the house that they gave away is the newly bought one. One I thought where I could raise 5 adorable fur babies. Family home is in my name too, as I have to take out a loan back then to buy it. So yeah, it may be obvious that I'm not the a-hole at first sight, but I feel like I could be the one because my father got hospitalized over the ensuing fight for the house. Edit 2. I'm trying to read all the comments and I'm just so overwhelmed for your support. I'm temporarily staying at a friend's house ever since. Your encouraging words really helped ease my mood. I finally decided not to give this house and sell the other one to help pay for a vast majority of the loan on my dream house. I also decided to remove my parents' access to my health plans and remove them off my insurance. Last but not least, thank you for the award, kind strangers. Reading your comments made me realize how ridiculously unreal this sounds. Let's see what some of those comments and judgments had to say. Nervous Tomato starts us off. Not the a-hole, of course, but what the actual hell is going on here? The entitlement of your brother to expect that you will give him your house, and the nerve of your parents expecting that you would indeed do this. Actually, if your parents want to provide for your brother, they can invite him to live in the house you've bought for them, and they can live in the maid's room. Your family is toxic, OP, and if that's how they see you, as a bank, then cutting you off is a good thing for you. Edit. Posted it before finishing. What the heck? You're not the a-hole at all here, OP. I'm not sure where people get the idea that other people's things belong to them just because they have kids to fill the house. That's not how this works. And you're not responsible for how your parents react to the situation like this. So the fact that your father landed in the hospital is not your fault. Update. Hello. So a lot of people have reached out to me since my original post. A lot has happened then. I'll try to include much details as I can. So I cut my family off back in December and removed them in all services that will benefit them being connected to me. Since I figured, hey mom, you told me I'm dead to you, then you get no free house from me anymore. So the reactions from our extended family were just as I expected. Most of the adults sided with my mother. My cousins expressed their support to me. I got uninvited from the family reunion I initially sponsored, and isn't that just the worst? My aunts and uncle had barricaded the gate when I arrived at my granny's house. I won't expand on this anymore because this still hurts until now. My mother also sued me for selling the first house back in January. It did not reach the higher courts and I won. Public perception of me got worse though. She and my brother took this defeat to twist the sympathy in their favor. They posted on social media about how I'm an ungrateful daughter and how I owe them for everything I have. They also blamed me for my father's death. Yes, he died. I did not even get to attend the funeral because I'm banned. When this happened, I almost gave in and signed the papers to give the house to my brother. I blamed myself and believed them my selfishness killed my father. At this point, my boyfriend convinced me to take a break from work and talk to a professional. I did just that, and I'm only now just realizing how ducked up the way they raised me. I can't believe it took internet strangers to realize something is wrong with how they treated me. To be honest, I almost decided not to post an update. It was last month when my therapist suggested I should do it because this is where me breaking off from them started. On the bright side, I saw how my fiance's family really liked me because of this ordeal. I thought they were just nice. But crap happened, and they supported me every step of the way, especially when my partner had to go overseas for 1 week stay because of this job. They really took care of me and even assured me I'm worth more than my family thinks I am. The nicest thing I ever heard in my life came from his mother. Anyway, last July 21st, my father's birthday, Mother reached out to me. She explained to me that she understood she had no right banning me from his funeral, but at the time, all she could think about is how I cut them off my health plans and it rendered them incapable of supporting my father's hospitalization. I did not realize this, and we cried for hours. She said she still blames me though and doesn't think she can forgive me. I think I understand her. My therapist told me that thinking of what ifs is counterproductive, but still, if I could go back in time, I'll help with this. My brother won't talk to me. That's fine. The feeling is very much mutual. Let's see what some of the community has to say. Coldtail9231 says, I believe in natural consequences. You cutting your parents and family off financially after being manipulated and abused is a natural consequence. Your mom can blame you all day long, but her actions are what got the ball rolling. You are amazing and strong for working so hard to move past this. Stalvis chimes in. She said she still blames me though and doesn't think she can forgive me. I blame her. Saucy Noodle Lover says, maybe do not disown the person paying for your health care. Trina Enthusiast says, your father's death was not your fault. Your parents chose to cut you off for not agreeing to an outrageous demand. They should have been prepared for the consequences. Honestly, it doesn't really sound like your dad was that great either. He cut you off and wanted to give your house away, just like everyone else. I'm sorry he passed, but it doesn't sound like he would have treated you any better if you hadn't. I'm betting your mom was making a last-ditch effort to manipulate you into giving the house up. I wouldn't be surprised if she calls again, saying that she'll forgive you if you give the house to your brother. Just remember that you don't need forgiveness for anything you did in this situation. You're not at all to blame, and I'm so sorry you were made to think this. I'm not sure your parents shouldn't have been financially dependent on you in the ways that they were. You were helping them through the kindness of your heart and the mere fact that you put yourself into a position where you were able to help out financially. As soon as people try to take advantage of that, I think the right thing to do is cut them off and really show them that it's just as easy to be taken away as it was to give. It seems as though they got a little bit too comfortable. Thoughts? Next up, an evil stepmother. Would I be the a-hole if I took my son and his friend out for his birthday instead of my wife and stepdaughters? I, male 42, have 3 kids. A son, Isaac, 12, almost 13, with my ex, who is no longer in the picture, and twin stepdaughters from my wife's previous relationship, Emma and Ava, 7. Isaac's 13th birthday is coming up next week, and he said he wants to go to the movies and asked if he could bring 2 friends along. I agreed, and we planned a day out of fun, arcade, pizza, and a movie. These were all activities that I know my son and his friends, nerdy middle school boys, would enjoy. When I told my wife about our plans, she suggested that we should have a family outing instead, and proposed a local kiddie play place that my stepdaughters apparently love. I said that Isaac and his friends would be very disappointed, and that he wouldn't have fun at the kiddie play place. She tried to convince me that Isaac could still have fun because there was an arcade, 2 claw machines, a pinball table, and a small DDR machine. She also said that since he sees his friends at school every day, family time should be prioritized over friends. I told her that it was unfair to force Isaac to spend his birthday at a kiddie play place instead of with his friends. She accused me of favoritism and of not loving my stepdaughters as much as Isaac. This hit me pretty hard because I grew up with a stepfather who neglected me in favor of his own kids, and I've been trying my hardest to be the father figure I never had. I've been spiraling down a rabbit hole of doubt about my own choices, and for the sake of my own sanity. Would I be the a-hole? Update. First of all, I just want to thank everyone who commented on my last post for opening my eyes. Folks said that there was more to my wife, who I will be calling Erica, than I knew. Y'all said I should talk to my son about what went on behind my back, and I did. I regret not doing so earlier. Yesterday, my son had the day off school, teacher prep day I think, and I took the day off work. After Erica left to go to her job and drive the girls to school, I sat my son down and starting gently, I asked him about what Erica was like when I wasn't around. I work pretty late, so this was fairly often. At first he was vague and hesitated to say anything bad about her. This set me on high alert, as it reminded me vividly of a similar conversation from my own childhood, and I assured him that he could be truthful with me. After some reassurance, he finally started talking about what she was really like. Here is a, not comprehensive, list of things he told me about. He was not allowed to go to his friend's house down the street. I allow this normally as we've known the family for years. He was berated and yelled at for spending time alone in his room. He was berated and yelled at for not playing with the twins. He was made to watch the twins while Erica ran errands. She was often gone for hours. He was told that I would be angry with him if he didn't obey her or spoke badly of her to me. I again reassured him that I was not angry or upset with him. Needless to say, it was an emotional conversation. I'm feeling very guilty that this all happened under my nose. I'm blown away that the woman I thought was the love of my life could do that to my son. I married a woman who was just like my stepfather, and I don't know how to come to terms with this. We went out to lunch to wind down and spend some more quality time together. When we got back, I had him pack a suitcase in case we had to leave. I also packed a suitcase. I was so furious with Erica, I never wanted to see her again. More importantly, I never wanted her in the same house as my son. Erica arrived home with the twins and was shocked to see me waiting for her at the table. I sent the twins to their rooms. My son was already standing by in his own, and gestured for her to sit down. I confronted her about the treatment of my son. At first, she tried to say that he was making things up for attention, that he was jealous of the twins for getting some of my love. I shut her down. She then pivoted to the, he's older, so he needs to sacrifice for his younger sisters angle, which I also shut down. As a last-ditch effort, she again accused me of not loving the twins. I got really angry at her then because, as you all pointed out, she was using my childhood trauma to manipulate me. In the end, she admitted to favoring her daughters, but said that it wasn't wrong because every mother has their own kid's best interests at heart, and why would I care about a kid who isn't mine? My blood ran ice cold. I texted my son to get his suitcase and get to the car. I calmly told her that she could expect to be contacted by divorce lawyers soon. I'm staying with my son in a hotel right now and looking at apartments, divorce lawyers, and child therapists in our area. I'm angry. I'm sad, but mostly I'm disappointed in myself for letting it go on for so long. I hope my son can forgive me one day, even though I'm sure I don't deserve it. I wish the best for your daughters, but screw you, Erica. Let's check in with what some of the community has to say. Armed Defiant 5299 says, I'd also go to a family therapy with your son. You didn't knowingly put your son into this situation and would never have done so. You did the most important first step. You got him and you got the F out. Unfortunately, victims of abuse have a higher chance of dating, marrying an abuser. At the same time, people like your soon-to-be ex also intentionally mask their real behavior and motives. She most likely never loved you, just what you could do for her. You were calmer than I could be. I'd have wanted to choke her. Whoa, I'm so sorry your son had to experience that, OP, especially when that's something you went through and tried to prevent. It's ridiculous for Erica, an adult, to place all that on your son. I'm so glad you followed the advice of the other comments and did some digging. We know exactly where Erica's priorities are, and they aren't towards you or your son. Good on you for making some fast and smart decisions. There's no reason for you two to be around a woman like that. You're a great father, OP. Don't allow her to make you feel any different. Do you have a similar experience and feel like sharing? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for joining us today on rLounge. Before you go, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have something you want to say regarding today's content, share that with us in the comments below.